Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Crystals are powerful. Did any of you today see the sun about lunchtime?
Ah, yes.
It was absolutely beautiful. There was this round rainbow around the sun. Now, some of you may not know that this is called a sundog. Now, I don't know why it's called a sundog, but it's caused by ice crystals in the air, and it only happens in the tropics. When the sun comes down, the ice crystals refract the light, and you see this beautiful rainbow. Now, this is just one example of the way that crystals interact in our lives. It's a very rare example and very beautiful. But I'd just like to have a show of hands, if you could, of those of you today who are wearing crystals. Come on, who else is wearing crystal? Actually, all of you should be raising your hands, because crystals include not just these sorts of things and the jewellery, the pearls that women wear, and the diamond rings, the ruby rings. They also include metal, the titanium in your glasses frames, the integrated circuits in your mobile phone, the liquid crystal display on your phone, the salt you put on your tomatoes, the sugar you put in your tea. These are all crystals, but most people think of crystals in terms of the cardinal crystals, the cardinal gemstones, which are diamonds, emeralds, rubies, and sapphires, and also amethyst. Amethyst used to be very rare, but around the 1900s they discovered a lot of it in Brazil, so it went off the precious stone list. But these stones have a power. They have a power to represent wealth, money, prestige, and they are very powerful in terms of the effect that they've had on us, in that we dig under the ground for a mile or so to find diamonds. We actually create wars to obtain these gems, and they are very powerful. But there is a second power to crystals, which I never used to believe in. And this is the power that crystals have over our mind and our heart. Crystals interact directly with us. I never used to believe about this. I used to think when people told me about crystal power, crystal healing, and the wonders of crystals, that this was all rubbish. But I had an experience, I've had many experiences actually with crystals, and one of the major ones I had was in Bintaloo in 1997, about 10 years ago, and my wife and I were robbed. And rather than just sit there and think, well, this is a terrible thing and there's nothing we can do about it, we thought, we will do something about this. And at the time we had a beautiful crystal like this one, and it was a Tibetan time crystal. What's called, a Tibetan timekeeper crystal. It was about this size, and the crystal had spent something like 10 years in a Tibetan monastery, surrounded by monks who were thinking the Dharma, right living, right acting, honesty, all the higher attributes of humanity. Now this crystal had power, so my wife and I sat there. We put our hands on this crystal and we drew upon this power, and we prayed for the well-being of these thieves that had robbed us. And what we prayed was, we hope that these thieves realise the error of their ways and that they cease thieving. Then we actually did a second thing with another crystal, which I have in my pocket here, which is called a pendulum. Now, this is simply just a silver cord with a bit of carnelian on the end of it. And with this, we went over a calendar and we focused our minds and we tried to determine when the thieves were going to come back. Because usually what happens is that thieves steal your property and they know you have insurance, particularly if you are a Masale Bordeaux. And they wait for you to replace your goods, and then they come and steal from you again. So with this pendulum, my wife and I determined when the thieves were going to come back, and we put a big cross on the calendar. And I was going to go out and get a big baseball bat, and I was going to wait in the dark on this particular evening and really tell these thieves what it was all about, and that thieving wasn't worthwhile. Well, we forgot all about this, and on that night we're sitting there watching TV, and there's a knock on the door. I open the door, and there's 2 policemen in uniform, and then behind these 2 policemen there are 10 more policemen, 2 police cars, 3 police vans, and 2 men in handcuffs. And these men look absolutely miserable, and I heartened out to them. And these were the 2 thieves that had stolen my property. And the amazing thing was, the date was the same date you put on the calendar. So I'm saying this to demonstrate the power of crystals. Crystals have a power to absorb energy, and that energy can be used by those who know how. Perhaps, when I shake hands with you, if you shake hands with someone who's good, you feel good. If you shake hands with someone who's bad, you're like a dog. You want to shake it off. You want to wash your hands. You want to cleanse your aura. Well, crystals are the same. They absorb energy, particularly dark crystals like this one. This one is called jet, and it's very good for absorbing negative energy like grief and sorrow. It was very popular after the Second World War. There are other crystals which are really quite beautiful. This one is rose quartz. Now, rose quartz is a symbol of love and devotion, and it's commonly used in semi-precious jewellery as something which helps people to draw to them the love that they want. So the crystals I find totally amazing. They have unique vibrations. So next time you wear a crystal, don't just think of it as an object of beauty, it's an object of power.